Welcome across space and time into the light of the world where the captain's quadrant rests. I am your co-host, Captain Joe Dove, and with me as always is Jason. And joining us this week are very special guests, Admiral Annie and Fleet Commodore Jason, who is ready to take us there into the captain's quadrant. Welcome back, everybody. I'm so glad that you're all able to join us this week. It's so much fun having a full roundtable to discuss this great episode of Star Trek. I thought it was a great episode. We'll see what you guys think in the moments to come. But right now, we're going to jump right into First Contact. So I got to say, this was an interesting episode because it took so many pieces from different episodes and put them together, and it worked very well. Mm-hmm. And I want to say that the ending for me is what stood out the most, because for me, there is a deep reference to Deep Space Nine, and I absolutely adored it. And I just want to just take a quick moment to have a special shout out to my stepmom, Dory Blacker, who pointed out that the Captain Kirk's brother is Sam Kirk, not his uncle. And there's a little bit of puppeteering in the last episode with the Zealots. So I just wanted to mention those two things. We appreciate you greatly. Thanks for watching. And please, sir, to keep watching. So let's go around, starting with we have to start with the Fleet Admiral, Fleet Commodore Jason. Yes, let's start with you. What were your first initial thoughts of the episode before I get into the episode summary?
Well, my initial thought was that there's nothing new under the sun. They took a bunch of things that existed, cobbled them together into something that, against all odds, worked. And I think it's mostly because of the characterization. So I'm giving it thumbs up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Of course, I would not be remiss to recognize our other Admiral, Admiral Annie. What are your initial first thoughts?
Like every episode of this show so far, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I enjoyed the kind of the throwbacks, the collection of different things from different episodes throughout the original series, especially Una's backstory. Yeah, loved it.
And of course, our good right hand, Jay, who apparently demoted yourself. Like,
no, I've become the omnipotent being that I was always destined to be.
Traveler.
Just Jay.
I've only got one point to make about this episode. Did anyone see Ensign Lance? I mean, like,
Ensign
Lance and Timothy Chalamet have a
yes. That's exactly what I thought he was. I was like, is that Timothy Chalamet?
Right?
I thought it was a cameo. I was like, oh, they got Timothy Chalamet this week. Oh, he's the one that's
a heck of a cameo.
Yeah. It's just not a bad cameo for sure. Yeah, Yep, I agree with the other two. See, I don't really have to answer them anymore because of my own being. So I'll agree with Starfleet for now.
Yes. All right. So let us jump into the episode summary. I keep doing that.
I need fanfare music, don't I?
Yeah, we should have something like for Ravages, you know. The U.S. Enterprise encounters a contagion that ravages the ship. One by one, the entire crew is incapacitated, except for number one, Una Chin Riley, who must now confront a secret that she's been hiding as she races to find a cure. Yes.
So we go straight to pros and cons?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So pretty much like we had all touched on for the purposes of the episode, it was an amalgamation episode. It took pieces of Next Gen's contagion issues and the original series contagion issues and merged that together. And then it brought in the Scotty Beam transporter incident where he kept somebody himself in transporter stations from the Next Generation, which I thought was a nice nod. And then it ends with something very deep, which is a deep connection to Deep Space Nine. But I thought the biggest pros this week was the guest star of Timothy Chalamet. Ensign Lance. Did he make it out, or is he no longer?
I think everybody made it out.
Everybody made it out.
Yeah.
They got to learn from Discovery. We got to start killing people off. I mean, come on. People wear red shirts for a reason. So I found it very. Not you, Fleet Commodore. Different type of red shirt. But Yeah, I was impressed. I also love the nice cuddle hug that Spock and Captain Pike held while they were dealing with the Illyrian ghosts, which I thought was very cute and fit very well. I thought that was a big pro. The only con that I had was from from Khan herself. She, I don't know, there's something, I don't know if she's augmented or not, because I know she's a descendant from Khan Union Singh, but I believe that they dealt with how the Federation has separated and isolated a lot of the augments, and it's almost a type of separation that is a type of bias that the Federation has against augmented people, which I thought was kind of like, okay, we touched that in Deep Space Nine, and we touched that with Khan, and we touched that with so many things. It's like this, they kind of came with the same soup, so to speak. And after a while, it's like, okay, it's great that you're pulling all these things, but like, we don't need that piece as well. But I would like to know if she's augmented. Did she hold back, or was the Illyrian just that strong in Una? So I'm gonna go with Annie, because you look like you're ready to go. Go, all you.
I was gonna say, I feel like the way that she was talking to Una when they were sitting across the table from each other at 10 Forward, I feel like she was biased against augments. The way that she was talking. So my guess is that she's not, but I could totally be wrong. I don't feel like they've touched on that.
Well, one thing I will say before you go, sorry to interrupt, Admiral, and if I may speak, the interesting thing, the connection with Deep Space Nine is Julian Bashir held and hid his augmentation. So maybe it's the same type of thing that she's doing.
That's right.
I digress. Please continue.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. Yeah, I want to learn more about her because of that connection with Khan. That I mean, let's hear more about it, you know? So for me, this episode only had one con, and it's a weird one because I very much enjoyed the way it played out. So when Una shares with Pike that she is Illyrian, which is against like fleet regulations and all of that, knowing how the military works, I served in the Army, so
wow, thank you for your service.
Yeah, you're welcome. And also knowing how all of that works and how regulations work, and you can't really break those without significant consequences, and knowing how Starfleet Captain Pike was, while I loved the fact that he was like, hell no, like, you're staying in the fleet, like, you're a first officer, which is like what my heart wanted. I had a very hard time kind of suspending my disbelief around that, knowing how the military works and how those things kind of come up and are handled. That was like my only con. I just wish that like regulations hadn't been brought up or whatever. That was like a thing for me. But like I said, like, I loved everything else about this episode. I loved the Pike and Spock time. I loved all the
little cuddle buddies.
I have to say, when they all started, like, you know, when Lance like cracked his head against that thing and opened it up to the light, I had this like throwback moment to when moths were a huge thing with like the moth memes.
Yes.
I was like, oh, he just became the Mothman. Like, holy crap, you know? So it was like throwback to the moth memes. But did anyone else, I don't know if this is like a future prediction or if this is like a pro, but when M'Benga pulled his daughter out of the transporter buffer, I had this thought, like, okay, if Una can cure this wild disease that they don't know anything about just because it like attacked her, is there a way now that they can synthesize a cure using Una's blood or her antibodies, whatever they use to fight this vitamin D deficiency virus? Can they use that to cure M'Benga's daughter?
Interesting. That brings up a great point, because in the Kelvin universe, at the end of Star Trek Into Darkness, they did something similar when he realized injecting the blood from one of the Khans brought the Tribble back, and it brought Kirk back. So that is a valid point, and something maybe we'll find out later on. So all right, Fleet Commodore, please give us your pros and cons.
Well, I think the biggest pro of this series so far is the cast, because we're only 3 episodes in, and I buy completely that they are not only shipmates, but I buy at this point that they are kind of a de facto family and that they're caring for each other. And so, I think that the story was recycled, and I think because of that, a lot of it felt like that it was retreaded ground. And I guess if you want to call that a con, that's a con.
Con.
But
You
yeah,
were
I
in the
think
shirt for it.
yeah, the chemistry, the actors, is this show's saving grace. It's just been blessed with just this crew with this incredible chemistry, and
Yes.
I hope all of them stick around for a very long time. I hope that they just make this series their career until they die. Personally,
Well,
many years down the road.
well, he keeps saying 5-year mission, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
How many years are they into their 5-year mission, though?
And that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Maybe yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, Jay.
Yeah, I pros and cons are kind of a mixed bag this week.
Ooh.
I agree with Fleet Commodore. If I was to compare this episode, it'd be The Force Awakens.
Oh.
So with The Force Awakens being so many good things about Star Wars shown again, it just retreaded very familiar theme. And that's what the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about at this point is the first 3 episodes felt very familiar. In regards to the plots that they're using. So, and I know that's probably a strategy behind the team to keep people engaged, but I'm really keen in seeing a different kind of storyline starting to appear in it. I have a problem with the morality of the Doctor keeping his daughter in the transporter. I don't know how I feel about that, because although the intentions seem pure in some ways, it's a very selfish act in another way.
Right, because you exposed everybody to.
Right.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
The first thing I thought of when she comes back would be like, Dad, can you get me out of this thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I haven't been to the bathroom in days. Like,
decades. I've been in this thing
I'm
for
really
10 years.
hungry at this point.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
I'm starving.
Yeah. So I do have a little bit of an issue with that. Yeah. So, but besides that, it is. I mean, again, you're talking about characters. I think Rebecca Romaine was just wonderful in this episode.
Yes, stood out.
And you are so right, Fleet Commodore, because it is what I buy. I'm attached to these characters. Anson Mount, every time I see him on screen, he just oozes a Starfleet captain.
Oh, yeah.
He's just so made for it. And Ethan Peck is just continuing to impress playing Spock, I think. And their dynamic, their chemistry, which is something you can manufacture, it's there, which is kind of, really great. And yeah, I love the fact that we had two definitive separate storylines, and it was good to see the ship operate without its captain and its science officer solving an issue kind of internally while these two are stuck on the planet. I did love the concept of those people were so desperate to be part of the Federation that they risked their lives to it. It kind of shows to the how important it is to the galaxy to be part of, well, the Alpha Quadrant at least anyway, to be part of the Federation. So yeah, lots of good stuff. But yeah, it's a Force Awakens episode for me, in sense of what it kind of is. But yeah,
I like the Force Awakens.
I do too. Yeah.
I love it. Look, I've got Star Wars tattooed on my arm. I'm all in. But yeah, it's just all the good stuff, but a little bit of the bad stuff.
No, I have to take this jacket off. I'm sweltering right now.
Fleet Commodore's going on leave.
Yeah.
You need a shirt that says "Go climb a rock."
I do, don't I?
Yeah.
And you can wear that underneath your con.
No, that's not a bad T-shirt either. Even though we're crossing.
I know, that's
Save the Daleks. Nice. I like that. I didn't know you like Doctor Who. That's good to know. One thing, we're going to move on to 10 Forward.
10 Forward.
All right, and this is an open forum.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get some music going.
Yeah. This is an open forum for all of us to kind of discuss what they think of or say whatever you like about the episode. To speak freely, so to speak, about the episode.
I got something, a little bit of an interesting tidbit about this episode. I want to.
Oh, okay, I do too. So this is great.
Yeah, the director of this episode is Leslie Hope,
Okay.
which may not mean anything to you guys, except if you ever watch 24, Jack Bauer's wife directed this episode.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
good.
if you do
I like
remember
that,
that,
yeah.
going back to 2002 there, but it's interesting how I always find it fascinating how successful TV actors, and she's been at a ton of shows throughout the years, you know, doing guest spots and that, how they kind of go and become directors, you know. And I found some of the best Star Trek directors have actually been performers on the show.
yeah,
Yeah,
we could Jonathan
absolutely.
Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes.
I'm not talking William Shatner, but yeah.
Oh, Star Trek 5?
Yeah,
tried.
Yeah,
He tried.
He
tried.
He tried.
It didn't have enough money. That's the
Right.
problem.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was a problem.
That was
Totally,
their
totally.
issue.
Yeah. Release the Shatner cut, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I want to see Rockmen.
Yes.
Since we brought up Star Trek 5, that Shakari is the reason why it's named Shakari is Cybok was actually supposed to be Sean Connery. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I always thought that was a fun tidbit about
That's
that. Yeah,
hilarious.
but he turned it down to do a movie called Highlander, which
not a bad choice.
It's not a bad choice.
Not a bad choice.
Not a bad choice.
It's
But-
me, Spock. It's Cybok.
Sharma.
Open your mind to me.
Oh,
Come
Sure
on, you
you're-
wee git. Open your mind.
Share your brain.
oh well, I just wanted you to dub that movie again now.
Yeah, that
If
was,
we get that movie, we're getting all the ADR for that role.
yeah, that would be
I
a lot
mean,
of fun.
Bit
Yeah,
of face swap technology. We can do this.
It's-
Right?
we have
I'll get a hold of Corridor Crew and see if they'll do an episode about that.
There you go.
Time for a deep fake.
Yeah. I was so impressed with the end of the episode where Una is recording her log, and at the very end, she says, "Computer, delete that whole thing." And that was a total throwback to In the Pale Moonlight from Deep Space Nine.
Oh yeah.
Such a great episode.
Hasn't been brought up. I don't know. I haven't seen it anywhere, but I think that was an exact akin to The Pale Moonlight, where Cisco actually sacrifices somebody in order to bring the Romulans into the war. And successful.
And won a ton of awards that episode. Didn't it?
Oh yeah, that's one of their greatest
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine.
And it
episodes.
is just
So I was so impressed that I actually tweeted out to Akilah Cooper, who was the writer of this episode.
Wow.
And I said, "I see what you did there, and I love it." I had
Did it get back to you?
no, she did.
Oh.
Somebody did like it. It probably wasn't her, but
probably busy writing another episode.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
That's true. Very true.
I do have to say, though, I have noticed that the current crop of Star Trek actors and writers and directors are super responsive on social media.
Yes.
I've had interactions with Wilson Cruz and Anthony Rapp, and the name's escaping me, but one of the writers. And it's just, I was like, wow, they're like paying attention to people.
Yeah.
It's so cool too and smart.
Mm-hmm.
I chat frequently with books and Doug Bradley a lot, who is
nice.
From Discovery, #1 on Discovery. So that Saru, such a nice
Saru.
person. But yeah, Saru is it.
Such
But
a
yeah,
cool
if you're on social media, chat him up and look us up, and we're gonna get into that later. But please, Annie, tell us something that you feel should be said about this episode.
Ooh. I feel like I kind of already touched on it with the whole Benga and his daughter thing. But the ethics behind that, questionable. As the chief medical officer, right? Like, kind of putting the entire ship at risk when they're kind of already at risk. So, a little iffy. But yeah, I had thought it was really. I just died laughing at Uhura opening up her little nightshade thing and seeing all those guys like around the lights. It just struck me as so funny for some reason that
I laughed too. Yeah.
If you were asleep and then you just opened your curtains and saw that, what are you doing? And I think she says that what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But
you know what I love about
really
that
funny
scene?
Moment.
You know what I love about that scene too? When they go back and number one, like, tell me exactly what happened. And I just love that little bit how she actually physically gets in there to try to discover what the issue is. I just love that. Yeah, there's those little kind of quirky things I love. But yeah, that that was it. I didn't have any more to add, just that little bit.
That was a little bit. I also liked the fact that Hammer was on to Umbega, and he knew something was up, and Umbega had to spend extra time to hide it from him. I just thought that was pretty damn cool.
I'm like obsessed with Hammer.
Yeah, we've seen Hammer for like 7-8 minutes throughout these last 2 episodes, and already he's like such a great character. I just I want a Hammer episode so badly. I'm tired of Hammer cameos. I want an episode.
No, he's awesome. I mean, he is badass. Sorry.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's another actor that's very active on social media. Bruce.
Oh, really?
I don't think I follow him yet. I've been.
I actually not seen the dude without makeup.
Oh no!
I don't think. I have.
Oh,
he's a handsome looking dude.
Mystery going.
Yeah, handsome guy.
He's very handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I used to watch this show called Farscape, another sci-fi show.
Oh yes, I remember.
Farscape. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, great.
One of it was made here in Australia.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was filmed in the Sydney Fox Studios.
Yeah, and it was interesting because without the alien makeup, people didn't look as good in person, which I thought was pretty funny. I was like, that's how you look? Okay.
That's hilarious.
But Fleet Commodore, do you have any things that you want to talk about before we move forward?
You know, I do, but I think that they all fall into the realm of prediction, so I'm going to sit on them for now, and I'm going to talk about them later. And I just shared, my Hammer thought that I want more Hammer. We need Star Trek Hammer, and then we just need to follow him around as he's as he fixes things and is snarky about it. And
he's got those self-sealing stem bolts.
Oh my gosh, we need a I don't know how it happened, but we need a scene with Jet Reno and Hammer in the same room.
Oh my God, we need
I don't know how that's possible, but it needs to happen.
I don't know, but we need it.
Maybe a flashback where they met each other before, all that business. But
we could have like a next gen episode with Leah. Oh man, what's her name? The Geordie's like online girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cannot
totally weirded out in the end about
Leah Brahms.
Leah Brahms, that's it.
Yes.
I knew Leah, but I could not remember her last name. Yeah, we need a Leah Brahms
episode
with like Jet Reno.
In this day and age, Geordie been issued an AVO for. He was a stalker a little bit, eh?
Yeah.
He was really weird when
that was bad.
He would have a couple of restraining orders against him by now.
He's in the Me Too space movement.
Absolutely, yeah. The amount of cringe when she walks in and finds that hologram is like. You have like sympathetic anxiety for him.
Yeah,
that is the equivalent of not erasing your browser history right there.
I love that.
Yeah, Jay, do you have anything that you wish to add?
Yes, let's move on to future speculation.
Oh, okay, I guess you don't. Thank you.
That kind of fits that graphic in a way.
It does.
Too.
It does. The way he's holding the Canar. So for me, the future speculation this week, I saw the trailer for next week's episode. I don't know if you guys have jumped in that far.
I don't ever watch them.
Seen it. No.
I haven't seen that yet.
I'm going fresh.
Okay, I won't spoil it, but I know.
But does this pollute your future speculation then? Do you know things?
No.
Are you going to come off way smarter to us next week because you've actually watched the trailer?
No, don't worry. We're all on the same ship. I know we're doing character building, and I know we desire more of Hammer, but I think we're going to get a Lana episode.
Yes.
Next week, and it has nothing to do with the trailer. I'm just saying this is just speculation. I really think because the way this set up for augments, and there was so much discussion based on this episode about augments and the throwdown between Lana and Una while she was possessed and she almost blew up the ship.
Yeah.
That was a little. I need more light. And that was also a Farscape episode, actually. But anyway. the same virus. I need more light, pilot. The I think
all
that,
Goss hated that episode, by the way.
I'm sure they
They're
did.
like, we need light.
We need light. We don't need any light. We need more darkness. But as they seem to build these 10 episodes in each of the main characters, I really think we're going to get a Lana episode, and we're going to get into what is her purpose and what is she trying to do. Is she trying to find her space sent seed of an ancestor that's floating out somewhere? Are we going to find out that she somehow puts Kirk's crew in the realm, in the reach of the U.S. Botany Bay?
That's
So,
right.
yeah, that would be an interesting thing to find out. But that's me. I'm going to go with Jay. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're pretty well on the money there. I think that's where we're kind of going to lead. And I think it's an interesting subject to tackle, because it's happened in our own history. I'm sure there are German ancestors who are still struggling to deal with the crimes of their family.
Right.
And it's, how do you deal with it and how do you move forward past that and establish yourself as being judged as an individual rather than being associated with some horrific things that were done in the past. So, yeah, I would love them to go that way. I'm hoping they're going to go that way next week because then you're going to get into some real meaty stuff, I think.
I agree.
And then I reckon the week after you would have an episode about him, like to lighten it up maybe a little bit. So
Yeah.
So you get into something real dark and deep next week, and then lighten it up week after, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Admiral Annie?
Let's see. Future predictions. I definitely foresee Mbenga's daughter being part of the future discussion. I feel like he can't have just done that and then that's the end of it. Nope, we need to know what happens to her. We need to know what happens to him. And are there consequences for him doing this? I don't know. So I think we'll see a little bit of that. I foresee a lot. I feel like this series is doing a really good job of giving us backstories on already beloved characters. And I think we're going to get more of that, whether that's Hemmer or La'an or Spock. I feel like we're going to see more of that kind of carving out the deeper areas of each character.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're in for a rescue mission now. We've had the first contact. We've had a slight rescue mission with Mahanit, although that seemed more of also a first contact thing with the egg.
Mm-hmm. The space Fabergé egg.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That was great.
I feel like someone's gonna be in danger and the ship is gonna have to go save them. That's what I'm looking forward to.
There you go. Fleet Commodore.
Well, now I'm going to get into my predictions.
Yay!
Yeah, I think Mbenga is going to have to pay a price because we know from the original series that he's on the Enterprise, but he's no longer CMO. So I'm kind of thinking maybe this precipitates that in some way, and it should, because quite honestly, hiding your daughter in a transporter buffer and risking the ship is dumb. My other prediction is this: I personally don't think that La'an is genetically modified. I think that she has a bit of self-loathing as far as that goes, and I liked the comparison that she's sort of like the descendant of a space Nazi, basically, and she's ashamed of her heritage, and she's ashamed of that association. And then her best friend, the person she looks up to, turns out to be the thing that she hates.
Oh,
right.
So I see something there that's on its way. Something. I think number one's going to have a price to pay as well, and I think that unfortunately Pike's going to have a price to pay as well for hiding it, and unless number one takes the fall for everybody. I just don't see them. I don't know. I don't see them pulling another Julian Bashir where they say, "Oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine." I just can't see them doing it.
Because Julian Bashir is 100 years later.
Yes.
Yeah. So they probably come to terms with it more so than they have at this juncture. So that's gonna be deep. Jay, I see you nipping at the top.
I should have mentioned what the title of next week's episode is.
What is that?
And it is Memento Mori.
Oh.
In Latin, means remember that you must die.
Oh.
So,
But
which is
the
an
lori are
interesting one.
also trinkets given out at funerals, usually
Yes.
photos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coins and things like that. I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think maybe a future speculation is the end of Space Chalamet. We can represent
poor
them.
Ensign Lance.
Yeah,
you know?
that's Lance. Yeah.
He's got the look, hasn't he? It is
Yeah, he
literally
look-
Tom Hiddleston and Timothy Chalamet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk about genetic augmentation.
Yeah.
That's where it's really happening.
Right? Oh my God. But
Won
yeah,
the genetic lottery.
yeah. But
All right.
that's all. You don't have any other future speculations? No.
No, I threw in the title of next week's episode. I've done enough.
All right, sounds good. So I'm going to have someone jump at the bit to have their social medias spread all about the internet and all of those who are watching. Let's have Annie, Admiral Annie, give us your socials if you want to be reached out to, and some of the projects you're working on, so that the folks can therefore see these things and enjoy in the glory that is Admiral Annie.
It's very sweet. My other podcast is on hold at the moment. My co-chatter is busy moving in with his partner, so I'm giving him that space to kind of hang out. He's loving the show and everything, but yeah, that's on hold right now. So I'll pass.
Okay. In that case, Fleet Commander, please. You have many wondrous things I know from.
I am on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter under @JasonRoyGaston. I also have a YouTube channel that I'm currently not posting to at the moment, but I'm planning to resume very soon. I'm also executive producing a Scooby-Doo reboot in my head that will air on HBO Max in my imagination.
Oh yeah.
I was excited. It's like, whoa, you're executive producer.
I would subscribe to that channel.
It's a racially diverse Scooby-Doo cast. So I'm going to start posting episode ideas on TikTok very soon because it's fun and it makes the wrong people upset, and that makes me happy.
I'm there for
That's the best.
I'm there for it. Yeah, I'm totally there for it.
What do you mean Freddy's Mexican now? Freddy can't be Mexican? Oh, see, he can.
Oh my God. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for spending your time here with us in the Captain's Quadrant. We really appreciate all of your insights, your quandaries, and your dives deeply into the episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I appreciate each and every one of you, as I always do, and it's such a delight to have you here. I'm going to sign off. I thank all of you for listening. Thank you for watching, if you're watching, and thank you for downloading if you've listened to it in the podcast format. Please like, share, and subscribe, all those fun things, and rate us on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, and all those wondrous opportunities that you have to give us a good rating. And until then, make it so.